We got a lot of breaking news coming in right now, folks. We're talking that the Cloer Act failed to reach 60 vote. Your August recess, it's right around the corner. The Clarity Act is dead for 2026. And the crypto market, it looks like it's about to begin to sell off. I need you to stick around for the next few minutes because this is a version of this story that the panic in the price charts, they're not showing you. And this is the version that actually matters. And I'm going to be honest with you up front, this is a bad outcome for the short-term price. This is leading into the exact bottom region that I've been calling for the past 10 months. Don't believe me? Go look at Twitter. As you have these other jamokes, these schmucks out there who are fighting with me, arguing with me. I'm not right. I just turned bearish. Well, it seems to me that they failed to read a simple Twitter timeline or even do a search. But look, guys, let's be honest. The crypto market's been moving sideways for a while now. A lot of people just sitting on their coins, waiting for that next big move. But while you're waiting, your crypto is just sitting in your wallet doing absolutely nothing. So I want to mention one of my long-term partners, FortisX. And instead of letting your assets sit idle, you can put your supported cryptocurrencies into liquidity pools and earn daily rewards while still keeping the flexibility of withdrawing whenever you want. And one of the reasons I keep working with them, they just keep delivering. The team's public, they completed their Cyberscope KYC, they passed independent security audits, and the platform, it's been building consistently for years. Their focus is long-term growth, transparency, and security rather than hype. In a market like this, it makes sense to make your assets work instead of letting them sit idle. Check out the link down below. We're not here to talk about the short term because we don't care about the short term. The large setup has always been 2027 and 2028 after the top came in almost 18 months ago. As I've been telling you, the bear market, it's coming to an end. And the bull market, it's about to begin. So let me kick it off with this. And let me be precise here because there is a difference between what Clarity passing would have done and what Clarity failing actually broke, because those are two completely different things. And I don't want you to be confused about either. Now, the Clarity Act, it would have triggered a chain reaction. OCC charter finally approved, Federal Reserve master account, Ripple Treasury on FedNow, $4.5 trillion daily payment rail access, and a flurry of announcements that Ripple's executives have described. Now that chain reaction is delayed. It is delayed until 2027 when the Clarity Act restarts in the new Congress. Look, what Clarity failing did not do, it didn't change what happens in October with the Dtcc and their full platform launch. It did not change Ripple's Prime NSCC's membership. It did not change the broker code that Ripple was assigned under 0443. That's still active. It didn't stop JP Morgan, MasterCard, Ondo Finance, and OKX from settling trades on the XRP ledger. A Ripple executive confirmed no settlements are live. You don't gotta take my word for it. They keep running. RLUSD stays at 1.6 billion and it keeps growing. BNY Mellon, they keep custodying RLUSD, and Bitwise's XRP ETFs got 53 trillion assets under management. Your repo pilots, they keep running. Your batch transactions, they keep shipping. Your on-chain lending stays in testing. And the 79% institutional connection rates from Bitwise in Q3 of this year, that data, it doesn't change either. Look, October is still the date that was always going to be the institutional milestone with or without the Clarity Act. Now, I want to talk about what a final wick down actually is, because I do believe, and I believe that the understanding of the historical patterns of what happens at maximum peak fear levels or peak bull levels, it's probably the most important context of this week. Major crypto cycle, whether it was 2013, 2017, 2020, or 2026, they all have had a final wick down before price recovery. And you know what's interesting about this? If we go back to 2020, what was the capitulation event? What drove these markets to the absolute bottom? FTX. An exchange went under. One of the largest exchanges in the world. Now, what exchange do we see that's going under in September? They're actually being kind about it and allowing people to get their money off the exchange. BitMEX, they're going down in September. Now, when FTX collapsed 13 days after it, the bottom was marked. Could the bottom be setting up for the exact range that I've spoken about on this channel for the past 10 months, September to November? Now, look, a lot of people get sick and tired of hearing it. Why does there always have to be one more down? Why can't it just go up? Well, you need that one last wick down because the market's starting along. Everyone's starting to get excited. The market makers know where the orders are placed. The market makers know where the liquidity sits. If you're a market maker, a hungry market maker, and you want to capitalize on that extra money, what do? You flush it one more time. Now, I'm not sitting here telling you Bitcoin's going to go to 20,000. Folks, we are close to a bottom. Maybe the bottom's in the $50,000 range. I believe those 40 to 50. Maybe they front run me and they go 54, 55. Well, time will tell now, won't it? But I do expect that to come. I do expect a region of chop here. That's what I'm looking at. Now, I want to anchor you in with the most important institutional confirmation that we received this year, because it's the thing that's going to make the Clarity failure a detour rather than just a dead end. Now, the head of the digital assets over at the Dtcc, he confirmed publicly that yes, they are working with Kane, they're working with Stellar, they're working with Chainlink and a few others on their $4 quadrillion annual settlement system. They stated that no single blockchain can handle it all. A multi-chain architecture is required. I want to remind you, Ripple Prime holds the NSCC membership. Now, the full launch is set for October, where we're going to get the full picture of who's actually involved and who's going to be doing what. Now, this doesn't mean Ripple gets announced in October, but we're sure as heck going to get a clear reading on where this is going. Now, don't forget, we just had a Ripple executive who was over at Grayscale conference last week. Now, it took over a decade to get the world more comfortable with blockchain and crypto infrastructure. Now you see the most important financial markets, the DTCC, Euroclear, they're all moving forwards with plans for blockchain clearing, tokenization, and settlement. The time is now. Prepare yourselves. He said that before the Clarity vote. He means it after the Clarity vote because the DTCC's timeline, it is unchanged. Next major institutional catalyst, regardless of what Congress does here. The Clarity Act is coming. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's all a matter of when. And the most important thing that I like to remind you of is the catalyst. We want these catalysts stacked on top of each other. We don't want the DTCC going live and then nothing else happens for 6 months. We want the DTCC to go live. We want the Clarity Act to come. We want Ripple in a major partnership. We want to hear something from Ripple and governments. We want more. The more we stack, the higher the price is going to go. So what changed today? That's a great question. We're going to get into it right now. The short-term price path, it's now rougher. The positive regulatory catalyst, it's off the table for 2026. Rate hike risk is at 62%, is no longer offset by the Clarity optimism. August resets means no further legislation, probably until early 2027. Market sentiment will turn negative, and it may stay negative for weeks. That's okay. That's a buying opportunity. It's not like because there's no Clarity Act that crypto's going to go away. This genie's out the bottle. It's not going anywhere. Remember that. But that institutional money, that tsunami of money that's on the sidelines, it will just have to wait another month or so before it can launch, before it can execute. Now, while making this video, the latest news on the Clarity Act was simple. They don't think it's even going to get a vote this year now. But this is changing every hour. We can come back to social media in an hour. We can get some breaking news dropping that the Clarity Act is now going to get voted on. We got to play this thing day by day. If it happens, bullish. If it doesn't happen, slightly bearish until October in the DTCC, until the full bottom is in. And then we start the party again. We start the fun back up, right? What do these events look like? Well, I lined them up for you directly on your screen. I said it on the Twitter page. Go to my Twitter page, go to the pinned tweet, look at my last comment in there. I expect a summer rally. After the summer rally, I expect a little bit of a wick to the downside. I expect Congress to go away, to go to recess. I expect the rate hike risk to remain. I expect sentiment to turn negative when the Clarity Act doesn't get voted through. Then I expect your price to make the final washout. And then what happens in August? Well, we all know what happens. The biggest news in crypto, the DTCC and their full platform, it's going to launch. That's in October. I say August, that's October. When that launches in October, that's going to be a bullish positive catalyst. Now, these plans can change. The Dtcc can come out and be like, look, we're not ready to go live in October. We cannot confirm, we cannot guarantee, we cannot write this into the history books until the Dtcc comes out at some point in October. I believe there's 31 days in October, and they tell us that they have successfully launched. Until then, it's all hearsay. We don't know, but that's something to look forward to. And in phase 3, 2027, you get your clarity restart. New Congress will be voted in. Cynthia Lumens, she has confirmed that the bill will come back. And when it does pass, because it's going to pass, we're going to see a mountain of money rush into these markets. Now, let me give you a little history here, because history is always good when we're talking about XRP. Now, remember, XRP likes to move last. December 2020, the SEC sued Ripple. XRP's price dropped by 75% in a single day. Exchanges all around the world, for some crazy reason it happened all around the world, they delisted XRP. Garlinghouse considered shutting down the company. The view on social media was that XRP was dead. People were afraid to buy when it went all the way down to 12 cents. Well, we know how history ended, because just about, 18 months ago, XRP rushed up to about $3.65. Our current situation, we're not looking at the same setup. XRP is not going back to 17 cents. XRP maybe, if it gets through and breaks through 90 cents to $1, you could see a full retrace like we've been talking about to that 50 to 60 cent region where this whole thing started. Trying to time the bottom, that's crypto freaking career, crypto, you know what. I don't want to say the word because I don't want to get the channel in trouble. Dollar cost average. I preach it. Everyone I ever spoken to in this market, I preach dollar cost average. I don't care if it's $10 a week or it's $15 a week. That's 10 or 15 bucks that you have a potential to 10x every $10 you put into this market. 10x adds up over time. And $10 week after week, that adds up over time as well. Because the last time I checked, $10 is greater than no dollars. Now, isn't it? Which moves us over to this and how I'm going to close it. Look, the Clarity Act might fail in the short term, but the long term, as I punch my mic, it's going to pass. The Dtcc, as we know it right now today, they are going full service in October, which is just, we're pretty much in August, 60 something days away. Watch for the wick down for your accumulation signal. Watch oil prices for any sign that the rate environment is cooling. Watch the Dtcc in their October launch. Watch Cynthia Lumens. Watch Brad Garlinghouse. Wait for their language. Everything happens under President Trump. He already did with the stock market. The crypto market is next. And you know what? I hope you're all prepared and you're all sticking to your own personal game plan and not listening to these people on Twitter who are 90% wrong. And they only show up once in a blue moon when they think they're right. Hit that like and subscribe, folks. That's going to do it for me. I'm going to kill a light. I'll see all y'all on the next one.